Greetings, everybody. It is the Ash Heritor, and welcome back to Rogue Trader. I hope you all have had a nice couple of days. It's been a couple of days since I put out the last episode. Not too long of a break, but a little bit of a break. I had to take a little bit of a break. I am on a easier work schedule, so I was able to upload a bit more, but every now and then I also need just a little bit of time for myself. And so I took that. It was nice. But here we are again. We are actually going to go back to Janus. And the reason we're going back to Janus is because of Pavel Avtansky, your comment. Apparently I missed a pretty good accessory somewhere, and in this case, thank you actually for pointing out where it was. I know I have like a thing of, you know, if I miss something, don't tell me where it is. And I think I will stick by that for games where there is a lot of, like, contextual exploration. Which this game doesn't really have. This is just sort of, you gotta walk there and, you know, your characters will find things. So in this case, if I miss something, please feel free to just tell me where I missed it. Don't tell me what it is, and, thank you for explaining it the way it was. You just said it was something worth my time, and didn't really, elaborate all that much more on it, so that's great. I can still get the, initial reaction onto what this item will be. So we're gonna head back to Janus. I will cut out most of the stuff along the way, and we'll just get to that point, and I'll show you exactly where it is. So in case you guys play through this game and you have missed it on your first run or whatever, then you guys can find it all as well. So thanks to Pavel Avtansky for that. Also, another interesting comment from Sarjura Stormblade. Apparently we could have formed an alliance with those Eldari, with the Farseer. I didn't even think that was possible. Like, it seemed like, you know, we're gonna form an alliance here with Irliet, and, you know, our options is how we do that, but not that we can actually form an alliance with these Eldari. It seemed like it wasn't possible, but now I definitely want to try that with another character. So, thanks for letting me know that that's a possibility, so that should be quite interesting. So yeah, we're gonna head back to Telecos Epsilon. We can just traverse there. Who is this? I guess this is Raver? My apologies, Lord Captain. The Enforcers... no, I don't think this is Raver. I think this is probably, what's her name? Vigdis. My apologies, Lord Captain. The Enforcers report that your pet Eldari is in a foul mood, and is moving towards the Captain's Bridge. We didn't dare to stop her, but I expect you have a difficult conversation ahead of you. Okay. Well, that's interesting. So yeah, that's, I guess we'll see what happens there. We shall see what happens with, Irliet. We'll try and placate her if we can. I like that the crew is calling her my pet Eldari. It's probably for the best that they think that. Not sure how she's gonna feel about that. I love this chair.
Please spare me a brief moment of your time, Elantak.
Irliet quietly appears beside your throne, exhaustion and anger set upon her brow. Is the ship too noisy for you?
Cyrene knows that I do not care about the curious glances of Monkey. I grew inured to them back in the blossoming gardens of the Lilithon. They curse me from afar. They follow my every move. They ward themselves against me. Let them. After all, what can be done with such weak-minded, primitive creatures?
Hey now.
And still, one monkey stunt has caused the cup of my patience to spill over. She dared to approach me, to speak to me.
Oh.
And touching my hand, she suggested that we withdraw somewhere private. She wanted... Morag. The mere memory of it stirs up a tempest in my soul.
Oh boy. No way, you can hit on the Eldar, oh boy. I'm gonna be nice. My people have behaved contemptibly, and I apologize for it.
I accept your words, Elentark. And still...
Yeah, Iliad tilts her head to the side as if she cannot believe what she has just heard, and looks intently into your eyes.
Try to imagine, Elentark, being lusted after by a wild beast. It is foul, disgusting, so vile that it makes your very soul shudder.
I mean, yeah, it's not nice, that's for sure. Iliad is so overwhelmed with emotion that her body starts to tremble. What are these options for you? I'm willing to become a wild animal or a docile pet. We are not going to say that. Okay, some of these are, Can we convince her? I don't know if this is going to be a good idea. Yeah. I understand that this incident was unpleasant for you, but it does not mean that all humans are animals.
No. Your kind's simple souls and narrow minds are the root of all these flaws. Narrow minds and simple souls. Every day, I feel as if I am caught in a trap, surrounded by a pack of wild animals. I am prepared to pay this price to find my kin, but everything has its limit.
That's of course an option if you dislike. Yeah, but this is kind of like, that sounds like a you problem. Get out of the way. I could do this, but that's not going to solve the problem. Perhaps this is the best option. This is interesting. She might even respect that. I do not think you fully understand human thoughts and actions. It will take time, but I can help you make sense of them.
I have walked the path of awakening, Elentark, and learned to see that which is hidden, and hear that which is unspoken. When I found myself on the Lilithon, I watched your kind long enough to understand the true nature of Monkey. I do not think you can tell me anything I do not already know. Nevertheless, I will not protest. Conversations with you are the only thing on this ship that can ease my solitude.
You are Xenos, a strange and unknown creature, and humans strive to understand the unknown, for the unknown is the most frightening thing of all. Or once remembrancer by the name of Howard Phillips Lovecraft has a certain quote about it. Yeah, I'm gonna say this.
Had any of them wished to understand my nature, they would have already run away in fear from one who walks the path of the outcast. But they are just trying to provoke me, hurt me. No. Monkey are driven by their instincts. To survive, to breed, to ensure the preservation of their species and the annihilation of those who threaten them. It is neither good nor bad. It simply is.
I can respect that statement. She's not wrong. Sometimes we struggle to understand the motives behind our own actions.
It was emotions that once brought down my kind, Elentark, toppling us from our pedestal as rulers of the galaxy. Indulging your weaknesses or whims does not make your species any more attractive.
All humans are different. My people's interest in you was not intended to be an insult.
Elentark, please understand that I do not find Monkey attractive. The mere thought of being intimate with one of your kind...
Okay.
Our conversation has only proved my point, Elentark. That Monkey and the children of Azurian are as different as night and day. Eldari do not simply see the world differently. They see more than any monkey can ever comprehend.
And what do you see in the world around us that I do not?
What do I see? Your words ring with the desire to know the soul of another. But will you be able to comprehend my answer? I will need time to put the entire truth of this world into the meager language to which your ears are accustomed. When I find my answer, I will pay you a visit.
Okay. I think that all went relatively well. If a little bit weird. Let's let's head back to let's do this business on Janus first. That was an interesting encounter. I feel kind of bad for her. Nobody should have to deal with the pestering of lustful individuals. Okay, we have a lot of navigators inside, but let's visit Janus, and I will continue recording in the background, but I'm not gonna make you guys watch me going all the way back here for this item. So I'll get back to you once I have found it. Indeed, there is a hidden doodad here that I have missed. What have we? Wraithbone necklace. Yeah, okay, that's pretty good. Plus 10 agility and perception. Yeah, that's not bad. It's just a stat stick, so it's not all that interesting. But those are two stats that she can definitely use. Also, she doesn't have any pendants or anything. So, 70 perception, 60 agility. Pretty solid. Thank you, Pavel. That is handy. We're going to head back out of here and get back to exploring. As we started to make our journey, it would appear that we have some problems aboard. It seems like these random ship encounters are quite frequent, and they do keep things interesting.
Lord Captain, I bring dire news. A feud has broken out between the clans that maintain the Void Shield race. Rumor has it that the late Lady Theodora was seen on the lower decks, and so one of the families called for a rebellion against the usurper of the Void Ship. That is you. So far, no one believes their mad tales, but unrest has begun at the fringes of the compartments. The ship's enforcers are ready to eliminate the instigating clan or pacify the entire Void Shield crew. The decision is yours.
Find the source. Actually, let's ask this first. What's this story about Lady Theodora?
Rumors of Lady Theodora's presence on the Void Ship have been circulating for a long time, and appear to be deliberate provocation rather than ordinary drunken ramblings. Perhaps someone is intentionally stirring up the masses to rebel against you. Or perhaps it is the influence of the warp. Enforcers are already investigating. But right now, we need to stop the conflict from escalating any further. As long as the unrest continues, the Void Ship's shields will not be operating at full capacity.
Find the source of the rumors and punish those responsible. I don't want any unnecessary deaths.
Lord Captain, as Seneschal Werserian would say, there are no innocents in such cases. The clans are endangering the entire Void Ship, tussling over a strange and obviously false rumor. If you so desire, I will convey your wishes to the enforcers later, but right now the unrest must be stopped, and the people returned to their direct duties or replaced.
My wishes, Voxmaster, are for the enforcers to sort out the situation before we forfeit the crew wholesale. Investigate the rumors and find the real culprit, and no violence.
I will see to it, Lord Captain.
We run things a little bit differently. So, we've reached Trinitos. We don't need to do anything here on Trinitos. Trinitos is, of course, one of our systems, but we will quickly check on Foulstone to see if anything here on Foulstone has progressed, to see if we can start to build up some new developments here. So, we're going to head here real quick. I wish it would move faster. The game does a wonderful job of having your crew move really fast on land. Yeah, looks like we're done here. Generous Danrock says, Lord Captain, there is a conflict between the followers of the Order of the Hammer and the refugees from the Winterscale dynasty's domain. An argument broke out near the tomb of
ascetic Nicomedes Keefe, and the tomb was damaged in the fray. The pilgrims revering Keefe's rival, Philopomenes of Malpi, claimed Keefe to be a thief who had stolen the relics of Saint Cognatius and disturbed the sacrament of his resting place to sate his greed. The Order of the Hammer is furious at the heretical statements and the desecration of the ascetic's burial site. Okay. Who is Nicomedes Philopomenes, and what is the issue here? We're going to get some more information. Saint Nicomedes Keefe is a missionary who arrived in the Expanse alongside the founders of the Order of the Hammer, offering them valuable guidance for colonizing Foulstone. He converted many worlds to the Imperial Creed, but his most famous feat was his search for the burial site of the legendary preacher Saint Cognatius, who conquered the Expanse thousands of years ago, leaving behind scores of relics. Keefe was able to track down some of those relics. The order was named after the power hammer of Saint Cognatius, Pious Charge. Alright. I like this little bit of extra lore here. Philopomenes of Malpi was a priest from the Winterscale domain. He preached in the same times as Nicomedes Keefe, and denounced him for his false veneration of Saint Cognatius. He believed that Cognatius preached the incomprehensibility of the highest wisdom to the people, and that any attempts to learn it would only lead to heresy. He called the search for Saint Cognatius's burial site blasphemy, and the collection of relics looting and soliciting. In his opinion, the sacred objects should not be congregated in one place, but should find haven across many worlds. The relics are power, and their aggregation gives way to pride. What say my advisors? By coming to a foreign realm, the Malpians are demonstrating their insolence. Penance should be imposed upon them. We will send them on a pilgrimage to find relics of Saint Cognatius and to learn the ways of Saint Keefe. In this way, they would be of use for returning the lost relics, and the Order of the Hammer would be satisfied with a just verdict. There was a similar case of belief dispute at 5th Ophelian Cathedral, and the conflict between those two cults was resolved in a sacred duel. 20 champions from each side came forward, both sides vowing to accept the victor's teachings if they lost. I propose to invoke the cathedral's edict and settle the dispute in the same way. They believe that their faith is superior. Then let them prove it. Subject them to a severe test of faith. If they survive it, they will have proven their steadfastness. Even if the Order of the Hammer does not accept their arguments, it would be easier for them to recognize the newcomer's right to interpret the way of Saint Cognatius if they prove it with their own blood and pain. I'm not on Abelard's. I don't think Abelard's approach is best here. Argenta's approach might work. Depends on how long, or if both sides are actually willing to accept the teachings of the other. I don't think that'll work. But it is at least an honest approach to things. This is also, or Abelard's is also an honest approach to things, but it's a bit too nebulous. Heinrich's path could work as well. The problem is it might backfire and cause some serious resentment. I'm going to, Interesting. So each of these is going to give us a couple of options. Oh, we need to look at this too. Okay, so if we do, as Heinrich said, we will increase our security. This will allow the colony to cope with negative events of its own, and then we will get Saint Cognatius's relic. Wielder gains a 5% chance to reduce incoming warp damage by half for each point of deflection. That's not bad at all. And then here, complacency again affects the amount of profit factor.
the colony and the speed of projects increasing. So we get more profit factor, but the project's speed is going to be decreased. I think mostly the project speed isn't going to be that much of a problem. We will, however, get a soul pattern power sword out of the deal. And I do want a power sword for Abelard. We have, with the power sword being able to deal multiple types of damage, right? Like, let's quickly look at that. It doesn't immediately say it, that it does that, but perhaps that's up here? Or is it just an unwritten stat here? Well, we'll see. I assume, you know, that is how it works. It deals multiple types of damage, so like energy and slashing, or energy and physical damage, I guess, would be the damage types present in this game. Which makes sense. Power sword is a sword, an actual sword sheathed in energy, so that might be a cool option. Extra complacency could be good. We don't lose anything either. Let them bring forth their representatives and try to negotiate some form of coexistence. This seems like a temporary fix, as much as I'd like to personally oversee this matter and try and get the best for both worlds. But that isn't usually how it works. This is just going to weaken everything in the long run, so we're not going to do that. We can prove their strength with a trial of fate. This, yeah, Abelard's approach doesn't seem like the best approach because it's not actually going to benefit the colony. It will, however, give us the Malpian Shroud. Whenever the wearer deals damage with a melee attack, they gain toughness bonus plus 3 times iconoclast level temporary wounds. That's pretty good, though. The wearer's melee attacks deal an additional temporary wounds divided by 2 damage. Damn, that is good. Ooh. But I sort of disagree with this here. Okay, this would also, if we favor the Malpians, but Abelard's approach is better than just letting the Malpians in. No, I'm going to go with this. I liked Argenta's approach the best, I think. We should follow the edict of the 5th Ophelian Cathedral. Let might decide whose beliefs are just. This will also put the, you know, those who are so zealous that are trying to stir up this conflict, they're going to need to put their own lives on the line, or at least put the lives of people that are particularly strong for them on the line, and hopefully this will sort things out for the end. So we'll gain +1 complacency and the power sword.
I will arrange for the dueling grounds to be prepared in the monastery.
4 dozen fighters clashed in a bitter struggle. The forces were an equal match, and thus the duel righteous. By the end, only the indomitable Hectarchius, the priest of the Order of the Hammer, was left standing, and honoring their vow, the Malpians bowed down to him and accepted the teaching of Saint Nicomedes. Alright. Colony reward. +2 profit factor? Oh, we've completed this, and we have ourselves the Infernical Flamer, as well as some holy gifts. Lovely. So, we now have a couple more things that we can make here. Requirements. You need reputation with the explorators. Oh, so your reputation is also going to affect all of this. I like that. I like that a lot. Makes even more, puts even more importance on the reputation system. So the Drusians can give us some cool things here. This is a rank 2. I don't know how many rank 2 ones there are. I guess we're going to be able to get plenty more. And some of these are going to block out others. But what are the 2 that we can currently get? We'll look at those. Reward will be complacency. This will be touched by holiness. Saint Cognatius left behind many treasures that are now coveted by powerful men and women. Rogue trader Incendia Horda possesses the shards of the priceless combi tool bearing the saint's fingerprints. Formally reclaiming the relic via the Adeptus Administratum will be a bureaucratic war requiring influential allies and nothing short of an army of clerks and scribes. But if it is passed into the safekeeping of the monks of the Order of the Hammer, it will be a great triumph for the faithful. This will block the High Throne and a Celestial Protector. I don't see either of these here. Oh, there. No, this is on the wrong thing. This just gives us some extra profit factor? No, requires extra profit factor. It's going to increase the colony's complacency by 2. What about indulgences for sale? Selling the forgiveness of the ecclesiarchy can be a significant source of revenue. This will give extra profit factor and some more reputation with the Fellowship of the Void. Let's do it. Get ourselves some more money. And can we immediately start up another one? No, we cannot. We have to wait here. Alright. I like this colony system. Very cool. So, we will head back into the warp. And I just realized, took me a little while, surprised, I never directly said it, so I imagine that's why no one has commented to correct me, like, yo, bro. We don't need to chart new courses. These warp routes are still open, so we can just go here. So I was kind of like, we go up there, we gotta chart new courses to find ourselves a new place, but we can technically go to, like, these warp, or these locations. So I'm gonna actually go to these two locations that are uncharted on our way back to Furibundus. That's how we're going to do it. So, we're going to head right here. We're going to warp travel. Do I want to reduce the route difficulty? No, I don't. We're just going to do it.
Lord Captain, we have an emergency. We have received word that there has been a sighting on the lower decks.
The Voxmaster's voice breaks.
A sighting of Lady Theodora. The messages we have received are incomplete and vague. Little more than yelling and hysterical claims. There are reports of casualties and unrest. The compartment in question has already been sealed off, but I thought you might want to look into what's going on for yourself. The situation is delicate and, what's especially disturbing, there are mentions of Idira Tlas being present at the scene.
I will deal with it personally. I need the exact location.
Right away, Lord Captain.
It's maybe a trap. Idira is already on scene. We need Abelard. Who are we bringing? Let's not bring Iliad. We're going to bring Abelard. We're absolutely bringing Argenta and Heinrichs. This seems like something they'd be of interest for. I don't want to rile things up even more, so I'm not going to bring Cassia. Ooh, not bringing Cassia, though. On a potential warp phenomenon? No, I'm bringing Cassia. Jay, you're staying here. I'm very sorry. Pascal's coming. Again, I'm bringing the characters that make the most narrative sense for every mission. I'm not bringing the characters based on, you know, who I think is going to be best in every mission. Unless there's no... there's no indication of who is going to make the most narrative sense. So, these are all characters with... Well, mostly characters with ties to Theodora. So we shall see. If Idira is causing some trouble... We're gonna have a stern chat. I don't trust her.
Operation successful.
The instrument terminal, an important part of the compartment's internal infrastructure, appears to be in working order. Very good.
These rumors about Lord Captain Theodora, surely you do not believe them?
Of course not. I saw firsthand how... Wait, who's that there?
Who's what where? Look, we've seen a Theodora apparition before. Oh, yeah.
And who now deigns to grace us with their presence? Another gaggle of heretics and traitors thirsting to get their due for what they've done? Or is it the leader herself who has finally grown tired of hiding behind others?
Theodora von Valancius is before you, and she looks grotesque. A hole yawns in her chest. Rusted hooks protrude from beneath her skin, and a lumpen, inflamed scar cuts across her throat. The figure flickers, as though dropping in and out of this reality. She looks at you, with the whitish eyes of a corpse, and smiles venomously.
Rogue trader, we meet at last. I've grown tired of waiting for you to pay me a visit.
Theodora's look is appraising, and her mocking tone turns to one of distaste.
Indeed, centuries of selfless toil and effort, and everything I left behind has gone to this non-entity.
Argenta's eyes spark with fury.
Warp illusion, be gone!
Argenta's on it.
Argenta, my dear, there's no need to make such a fuss. Why don't we sit down over a cup of recap like we used to? I'll listen to your rapturous tales of sacred relics, portents, and your special path. You must have been so lonely without me here. No one else is willing to listen to your ravings, or help you with your childish treasure hunt.
Theodora laughs melodiously, almost without mockery. At the sight of the terrifying Theodora, Abelard's face turns sickly pale.
Throne spare us from the cursed apparitions of the archenemy.
Is that what you are truly praying for? I can hear how fast your heart is pounding, Wersarian. I think deep down you hope this apparition never ends.
What are you? Theodora's lips curl in a malevolent smile.
What, you ask? You dare to say that to me, little girl? I am Theodora von Valancius Massimo Afscarus, rogue trader of the Imperium and commander of this void ship. Alas, my glorious voyage through life was ended in the dullest way possible, by death, a nuisance I staved off as long as I could. But do not weep for me, my girl. I am still keeping an eye on my property, and punishing all those who failed me.
Theodora bares her rotten teeth in a snarl, her laughter piercing. Fuck, I think this might actually be the real Theodora. She was doing something with the warp. Those pieces of glass? She was up to something very heretical. The others don't want to believe it, but I do. Has she found a way to prolong her spirit's presence in the warp? To come back from the dead? Where's Idira? What have you done with her?
Me? What have I done with Idira? All I did was turn that little mutt from the fringes into a true servant of the Imperium. I gave her toys. I cleaned up after her antics. I provided her with everything she could ever dream of. Oh, I had great plans for poor little Idira.
You are not Theodora. Theodora is dead. There is no coming back from that.
I'm dead. How is that? I'm no different from those who have not yet crossed the divide between reality and eternity. I see. I speak. I remember the wrongs you all committed against me. And for all those who failed me, I have already begun exacting my retribution. I truly am Theodora, the remnants of herself that she left behind in this world. I am an echo of her memories preserved in the minds of those who cared for her. I am the taste of tears spilt for the unsaid and the undone. I am the terror of she who failed to turn the tide of fate and who refuses to look truth in the face. I am as real as the human passions that bring worlds to ruin.
If you are Theodora, then tell me, who really killed you?
Oh, wouldn't you like to know the answer to that question? I don't even know which would be more satisfying, to give you an honest answer, or to leave you to languish in your ignorance. We'll see how you conduct yourself, little girl.
What do you want with me? Why were you waiting for me? Theodora wearily rolls her eyes.
Matters are so dire that the pleas of one of my servants breached death's veil to reach my ears. How could I ignore such a desperate cry for help? And from my little Idira, no less. And once I appeared here, of course, I had to meet the pretender who has allowed this deplorable state of affairs.
I will send you back into the abyss you crawled out of.
You, of all the people to ever threaten me, you are the most pathetic girl. All you possess now has been given to you in error. You are unworthy of such a generous gift, and you are incapable of holding on to it. I am here to seek retribution against all who failed me. My brainless crew, my useless officers, my pathetic servants who turned their backs on their mistress in her darkest hour, and worst of all, you, my dear heir, you who have undeservedly claimed the warrant and everything else that is mine. I will drag it all to the warp with me, including you.
Dead people?
Always keep your eye on the prize.
As it should be.
The lines on the screen look fuzzy, as though the cogitator's readout system or data storage has been damaged. Gee, I wonder why. The people's remains have been hideously mutilated. The flesh seems to have melted at the edges and is thickly coated in a sticky mucus. Oh no, not
Rise
sticky
to
mucus.
the top, or get left in the dust.
The wall lining is dented, as though someone tried to break their way out. Well, we can at least thank Theodora for pointing out this loot for us. What do we have here?
Keep your wits about you.
A thing and a thing. Neither of which we can interact with. Cogitators, I should say. Let's look over here. We've got some presumably insane crew that are going to turn on us any second. What is this? Shells. These are shells for the macro batteries. So, you know the cannons that we have on the sides of our ships? Yeah, here they are. Or at least here's the loading tube of one of them. So those giant cannons that are on the side of the ships that we do our broadsides with, these are the shells they fire. They're rather large. A huge shell ready to be loaded into the macro cannon breech. And I love it. These are all, like, manually loaded. 40k is so just superfluously brutal and grimdark. Hi.
Where is she? I clearly remember her being around here somewhere.
Oh, lost your way, did you?
Let us not dawdle.
A spilt liquid, cloudy and carrying a strong chemical smell. It is used to stabilize the major cogitator systems. And these workers? What are they saying? Hurry, hurry, before the Lord Captain gets angry. The mutant does not notice you. His blind eyes are coated in a cloudy, iridescent film. Oh no, not irid. That word!
I always
That word
keep
means
my
bad
options
things.
open.
There's Adira.
Ah, there you are, my little coward. Why won't you look at your captain, Adira? It's wrong. It's all wrong. Look at her, girl. My little Adira is utterly trapped in her visions. No matter. I will allay your doubts. Lord Captain.
Adira turns her head to you, but her demented gaze only rests briefly on your face before sliding away. Up close you can see that the base of one of Adira's temple implants has blackened and melted.
No, wait. Lord Captain. Lady von Valancius.
Adira raises her eyes to Theodora, who stands before her. Tears stream down Adira's cheeks.
You came back.
Theodora clucks her tongue in sympathy, reaching out to tenderly stroke Adira's hair.
Poor little Adira. There. How could I not come? You are crying for me so desperately. Your pleas carried to the very depths of the warp itself.
The smile suddenly drops from her mutilated face.
Why didn't you save me? Why didn't you warn me? Answer me, you insignificant wretch, or I'll drag the answer out of you myself.
Theodora's fingers dig into Adira's scalp, meeting no resistance.
My
Adira.
patience has failed me.
No. Adira lets out a soul-chilling howl and tries to grab the hand tearing into her, but her fingers pass through the monster's flesh.
I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear anything that could have had anything to do with you. I'm sorry, Lord Captain, I failed. Ah!
Adira breaks into a strangled scream, and you feel the air around you grow rapidly colder. Argenta wordlessly swings her weapon up and aims it at Adira, who is struggling in the monster's hold. The Sister of Battle looks at her with an ounce of doubt or mercy. Argenta, stop! Argenta wrinkles her nose at your shouted commands and lowers the weapon by a few centimeters, but she does not put it away. We can just kill her? Wow. You can attack Theodora. I'm gonna do this.
Adira, I am your captain, not her. Listen to me and snap out of it.
Adira shudders and goes limp. Then she blinks, disoriented, and looks at you.
Lord Captain. Damn it!
Theodora shoves the Psyker away with a low snarl. The rogue trader's body begins to change, losing its human shape.
Chaos will devour you. It will devour everyone responsible for my death. Die for the delectation of my lord.
What lord? That's a horror. And others. Just the regular horror. Warp beast, it says. Interesting. It is a horror. Workers. Oh. We should probably have our crew looked at. Oh, they're all, they're mutated. Yeah, they sure are. Well, guess it's fighting time. Do we have Adira on our side? Yeah, but she's not under our control. Heinrichs, you go deal with that. Abelard, you're gonna tank these guys. Argenta, if you would kindly stand up here. We could do some damage. We'll put Pascal up there, and I myself am going to just stand right here. We're all going to nicely be clumped up so that when the enemy uses AoEs on us, we can cry. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Okay, who goes first? I'm gonna do this on Pascal. So Pascal's gonna drop a Machine Spirit Communion on all of us. Okay. And then with his remaining action, he is going to drop an Analysis on the Warp Beast. And drop a Bounty on the Warp Beast. I'm sure that Warp Beast is wanted in 7 systems. Alright, so now it's my actual turn. We're going to draw a front line right up here. Okay. I'm going to put a back line here. This is for our shooters. We're going to drop a back line. God, I hate it. No, not like that! Oh, for fuck's sake. Alright, we'll put the rear right here then. No, we'll put it there. Okay, so we could have moved the other one there. No. Let's see here. Forewarning? Who do we forewarn? We have no cover. It doesn't look like the enemy have guns. Just looks like they have choppy chop tools. I'm gonna drop a forewarning on Heinrichs. What's our... Ooh, our warp situation is actually not ideal, so... well, we're gonna drop a forewarning on Heinrichs anyways. I'm then going to give him Voice of Command. I am then going to give him an extra turn. We're not going to use it for the usual, because I'm going to use it to cast Word of the Emperor. Okay, perfect. And now I'm going to use it to cast Shield of the Emperor on everybody. We now are having a bit of warp phenomenon to worry about. That's okay. Do I cast Iron Arm? Do I risk it? Who goes next? Idira will go. And Cassia. Okay. What's the worst that'll happen? Only Idira summons Screamers, and she ain't here! Alright. Now, with my remaining turn, I think I'm just gonna shoot. You shoot it, 75% chance of hitting it. 35 there, 70? 70, let's shoot that one. Blink. 9 damage, very good. Okay, we can move this one again. Oh, fuck, but it's stuck. Fine, I'm just gonna move the front line right here. So now at least we're in the front line. Okay, Idira's fighting. What is that? What is... I'm confused. There's some... Excuse me? It just moved my zone. I don't know if it moved my zone or my zone just moved on its own because of a bug or some misclick or something. I have no idea what just happened, but needless to say, we need to mend reality. That's what we need to do. Okay. We are then going to definitely use Held in My Gaze on not Theodora. Going to do some pretty good damage there. We could also Lidless Stare down in this direction. It's going to hit 2 of them, but it's going to hit way too many allies for my liking. So we're not going to actually do that. What I'm going to do is Glimpse of Fate on Heinrichs. Let's get him properly juiced up, and then we're going to do a Voice of Command here on Abelard. So both of them are going to be fighting these horrible monsters. We got some Warp Manifestations. Wicked Bond. that could have been worse. It rolls. Yeah, that was worse. We're now all on fire. There's a whole lot of possessed workers, or at least corrupted workers, coming. Blinding grenade? Well, unfortunately for you, that was kind of a dud. So, I need to quickly look something up, because we got wildfire for her. We did, and it's not here. Now it is. These are our desperate measures. Okay. The Archmilitant's next attack will cost 0 AP. It will not count towards the attack limit this turn and will grant a stack of versatility, even if the attack type is the same as the last attack. The cost of this ability is reduced by -1 for every 4 stacks of versatility. Yeah, alright, that we need. So if I shoot here, we're going to do a controlled shot. I hope this... Nice. That worked out quite nicely. Furious Recital. I'm going to run and gun, so that I can move back. Just one. And then we're going to shoot just a single shot here. Get some versatility going. How much versatility do we have right now? 2, as expected. Perfect. Okay. What are you gonna do? Drop another analysis on it. It's got 4 exploits. You can go up there and start wailing on it, which is what I'm gonna do. Take an attack of opportunity. Ow, that actually hurt a lot. I'll use a medical mechadendrite. And then we still have 1 action point. No, we've got 2 action points left. We could shove it away from Idira. See if that works. Perfect. That worked quite well. Didn't do any damage, though. Here come the workers. Okay. Abelard, drop a brace for impact. And then I would like you to strike... Oh, we didn't even equip the fucking power sword yet. Whoops. Let's mark this as our sworn enemy. I've always hated you, worker. We'll shoot it. And then we're gonna slash it, which is gonna kill it. Lovely. Now we can charge. Not at that one, though. We can charge down in that general direction, then we leave her very exposed. Shame we can't get there. I'm just going to run right here, then. We won't get an attack in, but that's fine, because we're going to then kick it. Give it the boot. Alright. So, Heinrichs. If you were to move right there, charge this fucking thing. Lovely. Now, if you could get an aim for the opening right here, get a nice opening on it, give it a good old schwack here. He ain't buying this. This isn't Theodora. And give it a Death Whisper too while you're at it. Fantastic. We may as well do an Endure. And do we want the Shield of the Emperor again? Because it lasts for till the start of the Psyker next turn. So we can drop this right now to give everybody the Shield of the Emperor bonus. Oh, fucking dear lord. Our situation is a little bit sketchy. So no psychic powers. We are not using any psychic powers right now. That is what we were doing. So, you already had Voice of Command, so we can't get that on you. So we're going to Bring It Down on Heinrichs again. So Heinrichs can get just a little bit more damage in on this Warp Beast. 3 more damage. It's really not much. We'll drop another aim for an opening here. So we can get another Death Whisper. Yeah. I mean, it's chip damage. It's something. Well, we can put ourselves into a position where we can start to lay some Daka into the crew here. So if we go there, we'll be very exposed. What about if we go here? We'll still be exposed, to be sure. But we'll be in a nice position. Let's actually drop the front line then right here, before I do anything else. And then I'm going to shoot some Daka in this direction. You know, it worked. It worked out decently well. We killed one. And then, that's our turn. Okay. That cover's gone, that's fine. And you're doing a medkit on something. And she just accidentally summoned another...
High momentum.
Dira, why? You're not even in our party right now. You're still summoning demons. Jesus Christ. Why are you like this? Well, Abelard, I hope you can take another bloodletter. Mend to reality, please. Reality is in a sorry-ass state right now, let me tell you. Held in my gaze, or do I lidless stare everything? I think I'm gonna lidless stare everything. It's just, we're at that point. I will hit myself with that. That's fine. I'll take it. That's one horror that's dead. Those 2 guys are dead. You know what? That's 100% worth it. Do we give Abelard an extra turn, or do I held in my gaze? I'm gonna held in my gaze, because that is some absurd damage. Or we can try and take him out. Let's take out the, this one. And then, a Glimpse of Fate on Abelard, yes please. And then, because we need to get some fucking work done, you're getting an extra turn. This bloodletter is now your sworn enemy, as one might expect. So, we'll open this up by shooting it at point blank. Blam. Didn't like that. Now give it a good old chop with the chainsword. 60 fucking damage. You're at 4 versatility. Shoot it again. Chop it again. Oh my god. It's gone. It's dead. Well, that was a good turn. Fucking Katya. Alright. So. We've got a 90% chance to hit there. What about if we shoot some shots down the line here? 60%. We'll do this. It's gonna put us to 3 versatility. It's still costing us 3. Oh, -1 for every 4 stacks of versatility. Yeah, of course it's still costing us 3. Firearm mastery? No. Steady superiority. Until the end of combat, the Archmilitant can make 1 additional attack each turn. Alright, fine. We'll give this one a shot. Bye. Now we're at versatility 4. That's only going to cost us 2 action points. Do we have line of sight on anything? Not there. Up here, yes. That's a whole lot of friendly fire waiting to happen, so let's not do it that way. Let's just do another single shot here. Nice. Very solid. Good turn, Argenta. Pascal. Analyze. Expose weakness. Aim for the bounty. Reclaim the bounty. Nice damage. He's doing some work. And goodbye. And it split into 2 blue horrors because they do that. I like that they do that, to be fair. Let's hit this one with the needle. And let's immediately put a bounty on that blue horror, because I'm sure he's also wanted in 7 systems. Alright. I'm very thankful that that doesn't do all that much damage. Because it looks terrifying. Okay. I think everything over there is more or less accounted for. The problem is we can't make it all the way up here with Abelard. Otherwise, I'd love to get around back. So we're just going to have to charge in here and deal with these dickheads. We're going to go right here. Don't try it, worker! I'm the low ground! Chop chop. Bye! Blam! Charge! Oh, it's beautiful. Endure? I don't know if there's anything else hiding out around here, and rather not find out. Okay, how quickly can we make these 2 blue horrors disappear? So first things first, we're going to aim for an opening, because there's not one on this side. And then, we're going to do a Death Whisper. Oh, that's a lot of damage already. And we'll do a regular old attack. See ya. Oh, that's that one gone. And, can we charge it? We cannot, but I can get behind it, which I will do. And I'm going to give Iron Arm, risk, to, Pascal, and we're going to endure. Now, Cyrene, you can come all the way back to here. We can drop a voice of command on Pascal. Hopefully we can bring it down on him as well. We absolutely can. Fantastic. You only have 2 actions, so let's use them wisely by doing an analysis on this one and then finishing it off with a Thunderhammer to the face. There's not much that doesn't work on. Ah, there's still a worker. There is another enemy here. End turn. Cyrene finishes it. Nice. Idira stares at you with crazed eyes while clutching the wounds on her head. At first, no sound comes from her moving lips. Then she coughs weakly and whispers, "Lord Captain, is it really you?" Argenta trains her weapon on Idira and watches you closely. She's not shooting. This abomination claims that you called her. Is this true?
Me? Did I? Yes, Lord Captain. I think it was me who called her.
Okay, she is being honest with us.
I can barely remember. The voices, my old good whispers, they suddenly turned red, sharp. They started cutting, tearing, ripping me to pieces. I cried out. I called for help. And she came.
Idira groans and clutches her head.
Damn it! Why are the voices making so much noise now? Shut up! Shut up!
Of course that was her doing. Well, actually, the previous rogue trader has been seen on the ship recently. Was that your doing as well?
Yes, Cyrene. I did it a couple of times, when I'd had too much to drink. At the time, I thought I heard a voice among all the whispers in my head. The voice was so sad, so clear. I couldn't help myself. I answered. I hoped I could reach her. There.
Idira. Idira bites her lip.
Ever since she died, since I first heard her voice in my head, the whispers have gotten louder, clearer, harder to resist.
Lord Warp succeeded here. You hear the warp whispering in your head, and you answered. Are you insane?
You don't know what it's like. The most important person in your life, who's now gone forever, suddenly starts talking to you inside your head. How could I not try to reach her? I had to.
She falls silent for a moment. When she next begins to speak, it is in a barely audible whisper.
I know what you're thinking. During the warp jump, when Lady Theodora came out towards us, I keep thinking about that meeting. I keep blaming myself. Why didn't I divine it? Why didn't I stop her killer? These thoughts have been playing at the back of my mind day after day, choking me with guilt. And do you know what? The one on the officer's deck. I don't know what that was, but this time here, this was the product of my guilt, an accuser straight out of my own mind. Has anything like this ever happened to you before? Like this? Never. Well, there was something, but it was different. It wasn't as strong or as terrifying. Apparitions appeared. Mechanisms malfunctioned. The crew lost their minds. Idira breaks off. But Lady von Valancius knew about that. She said it was a small price to pay. An acceptable expense. No Psyker is immune to it. But what happened here? It was just a mistake. I won't do it again. Idira stretches her lips in a helpless smile, looking past you. There will be no more mistakes, Lord Captain. Argenta grits her teeth. This is not the first time this heretic has caused the death of her crew. Do you remember the incident on the mid-deck, Idira? What did those honest souls ever do to deserve such a fate? To be turned into mutants and attack their own families? You are a monster, a heretic. If you have any humanity left in you, admit what you are. Shut up! Quit your preaching! You're the worst out of everyone here. Sometimes there's a Psyker's first manifestation leads to their death, and the deaths of many others. But if a Psyker possesses inordinate willpower and discipline, they can stave off their fall for some time. Idira has been alive many years already, a laudable achievement and a stroke of incredibly good fortune. But the forces of the warp will ultimately devour any Psyker deprived of the Emperor's protection. The fact that these manifestations are growing more powerful is a clear sign that the end is near. So, what am I supposed to do with you now? Idira turns sharply to face you. Cyrene von Valancius, I know after everything I've done, you have no faith in my willpower or my strength. But I can fix everything. It's just, I'm not at my best, you see. But maybe we can find a way to replace my implants, or some other remedy, a better one. Lady von Valancius said that such a thing could be found. If not here, then elsewhere. I just didn't need it before, but we just need to find it. We need to figure out where to look for it, and we'll get it. And until then, I'll keep myself on a tight leash. What will happen to my crew while we look for this remedy? Idira swallows and straightens. I'll pull myself together, Lord Captain. The death of Lady von Valancius knocked me for 6. I'll get myself under control. No more booze, no more obscura, nothing. And I'll stop walking around the lower decks. I'll be stone cold sober. She determinedly wipes the tears and blood from her face. Fine. Then I will help you, Idira. We'll think of something. Idira covers her face with her hands and tries to hold back her sobs. Thank you, Cyrene von Valancius. I won't let you down. You are making a mistake, Lord Captain. Perhaps you will find something to slow the decline, but it will not stop it. Only a miracle can save Idira Tlas now. Idira awkwardly shakes out her stained clothing. She just fucking splattered on the floor. I think I'd better. With your permission, Lord Captain. She sways, takes a step back, and faints. Lord Captain! The Voxmaster's shaking voice comes over the comm bead. I received report that the shooting on the lower deck has stopped. I presume you have brought the situation under control, awaiting further instructions. Dispatch servitors and put her out through the airlock? What? Oh, no. I got rid of the warp solutions. Idira is alive. Bring her to the chirurgeons and have them see to her. We're going to keep her on a very short leash. We're going to hold her to it. One more slip up from her. Intentional or, through negligence. I won't count accidentally summoning demons on the battlefield because that just seems like that's just the price we pay for bringing her, I guess. But one more slip up in the story, narrative-wise, and we will have to put her down, unfortunately. Who knows what the next thing will be. You hear unconcealed relief in the Voxmaster's voice. Of course, Lord Captain, as you command. Well, that was concerning. Quite concerning.
I always have a backup plan.
Ooh, and we leveled up. All the better. Okay. Excuse me. This is
Right. That was weird. Talents here. Okay. Psi rating +1. What's the difference? This presumably will bring my Psi rating to 3. I mean, to 2. And a bit more... Honestly, Fellowship serves me better. Correct. That is good. So, here... Ooh, now we have a conundrum. Psi rating 1 or Blades of Light? I know you guys have been wanting me to pick up Blades of Light for some time. Or Blades? Or Blade? I don't know. Where is that? It's going to be under the ones... The Psyker ones here. Blade of Light. What does this do? Force weapon attacks deal +1... Or 1+1 Psi rating, more damage. And yeah, that will be quite good once we get more Psi rating. And once we get a force weapon. We do not have him using a force weapon. So, your suggestions have been noted. We will get this as soon as we get a good force weapon for him. Right now, I think it's going to be better to have the extra Psi rating at the moment. He, of course, has a staff. I imagine that counts as a force weapon for whacking things, but we're mostly using his, the two-handed sword. I don't think it's a force weapon, right? I don't think so. In any case, I want the extra Psi rating first. We'll give him some more willpower. By willpower, I mean weapon skill. Argenta! What about you? Critical versatility. We kind of do have you in a crit build type of situation. Begins combat with 2 stacks of versatility, though that strikes me as very good. Because getting versatility for her is going to be a little bit harder than getting versatility for Abelard. So anything that can assist with that, we're going to take. So we'll give her that, and of course we're going to give her more ballistic skill, because that's what she does. So we're at 70 ballistic skill. Abelard. Okay. Preferred targets. Don't really have him reducing dodge. That's not going to be that useful. And the Arch-Militant attacks armor that... Yeah, we also don't have him reducing armor. Dependable. Arch-Militant gains a +2% bonus to armor for every stack of versatility. And it keeps when they use Cautious Approach or Confident Approach, which I imagine spends versatility. That sounds pretty good. And weapon skill for Abelard. Cassia. Oh, you do not get the same thing as everybody else. We will be giving her more willpower, putting her up to 80. And then we're, of course, going to get some more Navigator-based abilities. I don't think we're going to go into Vanguard for her. Stable Routes, just as a passive Veil Degradation reduction, I think is going to be pretty good. Now, from here, extra weapon skill. Let's take that. Just pierce the armor. I don't know if we're doing, like, proper critical hits. Whenever an enemy is killed by a critical hit, scored... Although, yeah, Bounty Hunter is crit focused, so actually maybe we should be, like, building on critical hits. I want to... Where can you see, like, what the critical hit chance is here? This is skills, weapons. Yeah. Don't know what all this means. I want to get some more things. Yeah, here we go. The Bounty Hunter's allies gain 3+ 6% critical hit chance against enemies affected by one or more of the following effects. That'd be kind of cool. But his perception isn't all that great. Okay, there are interesting bounty hunter abilities, but I think I want to actually look at the AdMech capabilities here. Scanner Mechadendrite. An additional servo skull connected to... Okay, that's just going to increase his perception by 10. I mean, that's a 10 bonus to perception on him. That's actually pretty good. Every time Pascal uses plasma or melta weapons, his damage with these weapons increases by 10%. Pascal does not shoot for 1 round, he loses all stacks. Okay. Less good. Manipulator push. Manipulator Mechadendrite attacks Manipulator Mechadendrite attacks enemies in close combat, pushing them up to 2 cells away and dealing weapon skill plus int damage. Or weapon skill plus int bonus damage, so 11 damage. This attack has 15% armor penetration. Machine Spirit Protocols. Machine Spirit Communion applies 1 stack of exploit on all affected enemies. That's not too bad. When Pascal fire or uses plasma or melta weapons the first time in a round, he gains +1 AP. That's good. That's quite good. I'll take that. Nice restoration of AP. Action economy is always going to be good. And he has a lot of other abilities that he can use. So, that was a fight. Did we get to loot them? Yes, we do. You guys got anything, though? Just some serrated mono knives. I don't think we need any of these, so throw these into always add to cargo. And, of course, we'll keep the grenades. Jeez. Honestly, I don't think we need the force grenades. Or the blinding grenades. I haven't really been wowed by those at any point, so we'll look around, see if there's any more corpses to loot here. There's some goods here, so we'll quickly have a look there. Gira still has her permanent debuff. Oh, hello. Okay, can't be equipped by this character. We need unsanctioned Psyker or Psychic Awakening. What is Psychic Awakening? After triggering Psychic Phenomenon or Perils of the Warp, the wearer's Psi rating increases by 1. Oh, that's going to be so good on her. Wearer gains momentum and temporary wounds equal to their resolve. Oh my god. That is really good. That's going to be incredible on Idira. That might actually make her pretty good. Wearer gains perception bonus dodge until the start of their next turn for each enemy affected by their Psi power or Psyker staff attacks. Okay. Also pretty good. We don't have any real attack Psykers. So, yeah. Okay, what we're going to do is do something that I'd actually done during a dud recording that I did before and then had to load and then didn't redo because it hurt my voice to do it. But now I think my voice is okay enough. We're going to talk to Argenta and do her little story segment, which is quite interesting. Though this little part up here where we talk to Argenta will not actually be blind. I have experienced it before. But I will give my commentary, nevertheless, in case you guys haven't seen it. Then, you know, that's pretty cool. I'll have to read it out. Or maybe they've actually voiced it by now. I don't know. That'd be nice. I know that the companions got more dialogue, though I haven't really seen much. Sure seems like a lot of stuff is still unvoiced. I wish Owlcat would do more with its voice actors. I understand that's very expensive, though. And if that's a sacrifice they have to make a robust game mechanic work, then I'm willing to accept that.
Greetings.
Even in stillness, Sister Argenta radiates energy. With her dark eyes shining and a slight blush to her cheeks, she is reciting a prayer and looks at you only once she has spoken the final line. And I'm waiting for you to tell me about your past and to explain the strange words of that cultist on Footfall.
Yes, I'm ready.
Oh.
I would ask only one thing of you, rogue trader. If I may, I would like to see the chamber of the sacred warrant and kneel before the relic touched by the Emperor himself. A difficult conversation lies ahead of us, and I wish to pray by the relic before I lay my soul bare.
Of course. Let us go there right away. It's not normal that I will ever allow people in there, but I'll make an exception for her. Argenta drops to her knees, her hands making the sign of the Aquila. Her eyes are locked on the sweeping signature of the warrant. A seemingly mundane thing, merely a flourish on a piece of paper, unless one knows whose hand left that mark and whose blood is on that paper. Oh, the music. No voice? Okay.
If thou seest a flaw in me, smite me. If thou knowest a fall of mine, burn me. With flames of fury and righteousness. But if thou seest a light in me, grace me. If thou hearest this plea of mine, bless me. With wrath of fury and of righteousness.
Argenta's voice is sonorous, as if made for singing hymns and prayers, but right now she cannot seem to catch her breath, so overwhelmed with emotion is she.
For I breathe by the will of thine, for I live by the law of thine. I carry thy word, O Emperor. I bring solace to servants of thine, and ruin to foes of thine, a fate of terror and righteousness.
Upon finishing, she closes her eyes and remains silent for a long time with her head raised high. Slowly, like the first licks of flame in a campfire, a smile blossoms on her lips. When Argenta finally opens her eyes, they are alight with uncanny resolution.
Rogue Trader, we need to talk. Or rather, I need to tell you something. The truth. The truth about how I ended up on Theodora von Valancius' ship, and about the cultists we encountered on Footfall.
I'm listening.
Please understand, I couldn't trust you before. I'll tell you my story and you'll see why. I'll start at the beginning. It's easier to piece everything together that way. Upon arriving in the Expanse and on Footfall, I found no purpose here, only torment. I wasn't needed. The reliquary I had been assigned to safeguard was already well protected by Reverend Hieronymus' mission, and no one was even trying to defile it. For all its lawlessness, Footfall respects the worship of the Emperor. That was when Lady Theodora, head of your dynasty, appeared. She became an agent of divine will, in a way.
Argenta falters, searching for the words.
It was from her that I learned about a planet recently discovered by her scouts, Salus Prime. For a rogue trader, the planet was of little interest, a feral world away from the convenient warp routes, but for me, learning about its existence was a revelation.
I've never even heard of such a planet. Does it belong to the von Valancius dynasty?
Yes. Now the planet is yours by right. But it's not as simple as that. The warp route leading to it was lost. I will explain in due time. May I continue?
Of course.
The description of Salus Prime was familiar to me. It seemed very similar to a world from an ancient legend, the legend of Saint Argenta and her ship.
Her voice grows reverent.
Argenta, the living saint. She is my patroness. The Order named me after her. She died a millennia ago when heretics caused her ship to fall from the skies. But even those blasphemies could not touch Argenta's ashes or her holy relic, the One Star. For the fallen ship, which now served as the resting place for the saint's remains, would only allow the truly righteous to enter. All others would meet their death. Imagine what I felt when this flash of insight came upon me. The world where Saint Argenta's ship fell was merely a vague legend. No one knew its actual whereabouts, and suddenly I, myself named after the saint, came across this information. I realized at that moment that it was a portend, that I must journey to the planet and find the ship. And so I asked Reverend Hieronymus to let me go for a time on a personal pilgrimage. I boarded Theodora's ship and demanded passage to the newly discovered planet, Salus Prime.
Why did you keep your supposition from Reverend Hieronymus? Surely he would have helped you with the search for the ship and the saint's remains.
I couldn't just come out and tell him. It was a portend revealed to me personally, can't you see? I told Reverend Hieronymus the honest truth, that I was going on a personal pilgrimage to embolden my spirit. It really was a pilgrimage. It was as if Saint Argenta herself had shown me the way, commanding me to undertake this trial. If I had found the ship and set foot on its decks, if I had laid my hand on her remains in the relic, it would have been a sign that I truly had been blessed by the saint's favor. That is understandable. Searching for your destiny, for your place in the world, is a special matter, a personal one. You either succeed at it, or you don't. Argenta looks at you somewhat surprised. Thought I had been called. That finding the ship was my destiny. My place in the world? Perhaps there is something to that. I imagine Theodora was thrilled with the prospect. Theodora lent her assistance. It was her intention to visit the newly discovered world, and she took me with her. You mentioned something about the one star. What is it? Apologies, I got so carried away I forgot to explain. The one star is the relic kept by Saint Argenta. I belong to the Ordo Pronatus, and we attach particular significance to holy relics. The one star is one of the lost relics of the past, so mysterious that no one even knows what it is exactly. Argenta's hagiography at times calls it a banner or a set of armor, or a blessed chainsword. One thing is certain, it was a beacon of righteousness, and it was lost with Argenta's death. And what happened next? Defeat, Argenta says bitterly. The ship's augurs failed to detect anything of note during orbital scanning. I was expecting this, though. According to legend, the ship can conceal itself from the naked eye, and only a pilgrim guided by pure heart can find it. What I didn't expect was an ambush waiting for us on the planet. I landed there with a small unit provided by Theodora. I know Saint Argenta's hagiography by heart. I know all the legends about her. I followed their obscure clues, the descriptions of the mountains and rivers from millennia-old tales, and I was certain that I had found the way to the ship, and that's when we were attacked. The words we heard in the heretic's shrine on Footfall, something about ways, doors, please addressed to some lord, the edge of daybreak. Argenta is shaking with disgust. They were the same words as those spoken by the cultists who attacked us on Salus Prime. My whole unit perished. All those honest, brave people I had led to search for the relic. It was only by a miracle that I didn't perish along with them. I didn't connect these events at first. The cultists on Footfall, the cultists on Salus Prime, the cultists attacking the ship and Conrad's betrayal. What if these are all links in the same chain? What if they've long since infiltrated the ranks of the Von Valancius servants? What if I led those heretics to the sacred planet with my search? No need to blame yourself. If the heretics really had wormed their way into the Von Valancius ranks by then, they would have found the planet even without you going there. Doubt it. No one except me was particularly interested in the planet. Conrad, on the other hand, he sympathized with me when I first came aboard. He helped arrange an audience with Theodora and supported me in my effort to visit the planet. I never told him plainly why I wanted to go there, but I imagine that vulture must have figured out that it was for something important, something related to the holy faith of the Imperium, and what could delight a heretic more than defiling a relic? Sadly, the only one who might have all the answers, Conrad, escaped. Oh yes, and I sincerely hope that we will meet him again. That serpent needs to answer a few questions before he is plunged into cleansing flame. So, how did you manage to escape the cultists? Argenta hangs her head. Theodora's people received the distress call, came to my rescue and brought me aboard the ship. I barely remember what happened when they arrived. I was already severely wounded, fighting back with whatever remained of my strength. I think I shouted that we had to go after them, but they didn't listen. They took me to the shuttle and pulled out. After that, it was all blackness. When I came to, we were already in the middle of a warp jump. Theodora had urgent matters to take care of, and she decided that she could clear out the planet at a later time. And that's why you didn't trust me before, correct? Yes, Rogue Trader. I assume that's why, is because of the cult having infiltrated the ranks of the dynasty. Yes, Rogue Trader. I saw with my own eyes how a member of your family showed his true colors as a servant of the archenemy. I had already suffered a humiliating defeat at the hands of the cultists and was afraid of another betrayal. I couldn't be forthright with you, so I studied you, looked for seeds of corruption, or the light of righteousness. And what did you find? A woman who stood shoulder to shoulder with me, and helped eradicate the cultists on Footfall. Argenta smiles as if reminiscing about a pleasant evening spent in the company of friends rather than a bloody battle. I love their deranged zealotry. Oh, man. Although my opinion of you started to change even before then, back when you agreed to talk to the orphans at my request. A leader who's willing to honor those who laid down their lives for them and take care of their children is a leader who inspires trust. The way you acted in that moment. Do you remember? There was a young man whose grief and confusion had driven him to insolence. You didn't turn a blind eye to his misdeed, but you chose the right words to show him the path to redemption. It was harsh, but necessary, like the Emperor's truth, like bitter medicine that helps the sick. I learned much about you in that moment, Rogue Trader, and I want to believe that I wasn't mistaken in my judgment. I can only hope you weren't. So, just to clarify, you were wounded, so you never found St. Argenta's ship, did you? No. I rushed to Theodora the moment I could walk again, and I insisted on going back to Salus Prime to defend the relic from the heretics, but I was told that the warp had destroyed the old route to the planet, and that plotting a new one would take a great deal of time and effort, as if there could be anything more important than protecting the faith and hunting down servants of the archenemy. In any event, the route was lost, and all knowledge of it died in the attack on the ship along with the old navigator, but now we have a new lead. The data we collected in the cultist shrine on Footfall, I don't care what that reprobate we executed said, there must be a way to track them down. Tell me, Rogue Trader, will you help me in this undertaking? Will you help me find this great relic and return it to the people of the Imperium? I want to say this, but this... I also want to say this. And this. This I don't care so much about. If the accursed Final Dawn is involved again, it is my duty to help you. That cult must be reduced to ashes throughout the entire Coronus expanse. Argenta walks up and places her hand on your shoulder. So be it, Rogue Trader. As I stand here before the warrant, the embodiment of the Emperor's will marked by his own hand, I vow that I will not relent until the holy relic has been returned and the heretics punished. And may the light be with us both on this path.
That was awesome. She's a really cool character. There's more to her. There's this, yeah, it's almost like a fear of losing her place. It's very human. You know, for all her zealotry and her slight craziness when it comes to, you know, joyously reminiscing over blowing apart heretics with her bolt gun, there's this, yeah, human, very human, I don't want to say like delicacy to her, and I don't mean in the sense of food, but in the sense of like a delicate or fragileness present. And this is often the case with people of incredible, or I guess you could say over-the-top conviction or faith, that it's brittle. And you can definitely tell with her that it's brittle. It's certainly made of stronger stuff than others of brittle faith. Like, I don't think she's gonna crack and fall, but what I think could happen if things went bad is that she falls into despondency or, you know, depression or something like that. Really gets, like, crippled by doubt. Because you can kind of hear the shadows of that in her lines. And it seems like it's very true that she's, you know, really searching for her place, and that's really what's important to her. She's cladding that search in this notion of it being a righteous pilgrimage, but actually sees, you know, the idea of it being hubris. That was one of the dialogue lines, that, like, it was hubris of her to go and find that. Like, she wanted to feel blessed. That is a certain form of hubris, and that's true. But I don't think that's a bad thing. That's a very human thing. Everyone wants to find their place in the world, or the galaxy, as you have it. And, you know, who am I to especially as a rogue trader. Who am I to lecture somebody on hubris? Look at my fucking chair. It swivels. It's a swivel throne. Alright, that's going to be all for today. This is a long enough episode. We will, of course, continue on with a little bit more backward exploration as we head back to Furibundus. We should be able to reach Furibundus in the next episode, unless something interesting happens within those two systems. We shall see. Stay tuned. Should be out in a day or two. I'm going to, I think, immediately start recording this next one after I take a quick break. We'll get this done. I've recorded 2 episodes of Baldur's Gate, and now, after the next one, there's 2 episodes of Rogue Trader in one day, so it's been a busy recording day, but those are fun. Alright, everybody, drop this video a like if you've enjoyed it, and I will catch you in the next one. Ash Heritor out, and the Emperor protects.